Before we dive into this heart-pounding story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you love gripping tales of betrayal, secrets, and shocking twists. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, let's get started. The sirens screamed through the night, blending with the pounding of rain against the black glass towers of the city. Somewhere below, the chase had already begun. Agent Daniel cross-gripped the steering wheel tighter, his black sedan weaving between traffic as red and blue lights reflected off the slick pavement. The target was just ahead, a shadow darting through the chaos, a figure that seemed more ghost than man. "Control, this is Cross. I have eyes on the package," he said into his earpiece, voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through him. The reply crackled with static. "Copy that, Agent Cross. Do not lose him. Repeat, do not lose him." Daniel narrowed his eyes. He couldn't afford to. What the man ahead carried could dismantle everything: the security of nations, the balance of power, the fragile peace they pretended to live under. And yet, somewhere deep inside, Daniel had the strangest sensation that he wasn't chasing an enemy. He was chasing a story. The betrayal foreshadowed. The pursuit ended in fire. A sharp turn, a crash into a delivery truck, and the target's car erupted into a blaze that painted the street in orange and white. Daniel approached, weapon drawn, his breath clouding in the cold air. Through the flames, he saw the man crawl out, blooded, clutching a small metallic case. Their eyes met for a fraction of a second. The man smiled, not with fear, but with recognition. "You're too late," the target whispered before collapsing. The case slid from his hand, landing at Daniel's feet. For a moment, Daniel hesitated. Something about the scene felt staged, wrong, too convenient. And when he finally picked up the case, the world shifted around him. This wasn't just a mission. It was a trap. Back at headquarters, the briefing room buzzed with muted tension. Screens glowed with maps, encrypted codes, and dossiers. Daniel placed the case on the table, but Director Harlow barely glanced at it. "Well done, Cross," Harlow said, his gravelly voice betraying no emotion. "You've done the agency proud tonight." Daniel frowned. Too proud. Missions didn't end this cleanly. Targets didn't smile before dying. Something gnawed at him, an instinct he couldn't shake. Had been in this game long enough to recognize when pieces didn't fit. Later that night, when the others left, Daniel cracked open the case. Inside was not a weapon, not state secrets, but a collection of old photographs, each one featuring him. Different cities, different times. Someone had been watching him for years. And at the bottom of the stack, one photo in particular froze his blood. It was of him, standing shoulder to shoulder with his partner, Claire Winters. Except Daniel had no memory of that moment. Claire Winters. Claire was everything an operative should be. Sharp, resourceful, unflinchingly loyal, or at least that's what Daniel had always believed. They'd been through fire together, missions where survival seemed impossible. He trusted her with his life. But that photograph, it felt wrong. The next day, during a quiet moment in the weapons bay, Daniel confronted her. "Claire," he said, holding up the photo, "where was this taken?" Her expression didn't flicker. "I don't know." "Why?" "Because I don't remember it," Daniel pressed. She studied him carefully, too carefully. Then she smiled in that way she always did when she wanted to diffuse tension. "You're overworked. We've both been in too many places to keep track." But the smile didn't reach her eyes. Shadows in the dark that night. Daniel's apartment was broken into. Nothing stolen except the photographs. Whoever had left the case wanted him to see them, and now they wanted them gone. Only one photo remained, hidden in Daniel's jacket pocket, the one of him and Claire. He sat in the dark, staring at it, the city lights flickering beyond his window. His instinct screamed at him. Claire wasn't who she seemed. But the thought twisted his stomach. If she had betrayed him, why? A mission gone wrong. 2 weeks later, Daniel and Claire were dispatched to intercept a rogue arms dealer in Prague. The mission unraveled almost immediately. Intel was compromised, their extraction point ambushed, their allies nowhere to be found. Pinned down in a rain-soaked alley, bullets ricocheting off brick walls, Daniel realized the truth. Someone inside had sold them out. And as he turned to Claire, catching the flicker of something in her expression, guilt, hesitation, he felt the world tilt beneath him. "Run!" she shouted, shoving him toward the escape route. But her push wasn't just to save him. It was to separate him from the truth. Cliffhanger. Hours later, Daniel woke in a safe house, battered but alive. Claire was gone. On the table before him sat a note, written in her hand, "Don't follow me." But taped beneath the note was another photograph. This time, it wasn't of him. It was of Director Harlow. And scrawled across it in Claire's handwriting, "He knows everything." Before we jump into the shocking conclusion of Daniel Cross' story, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. This is where the betrayal cuts deepest and every secret comes to light. The hunt begins. Daniel stared at the photograph of Director Harlow. His mind raced. Every decision, every mission, Harlow had been manipulating them all. But why? And how deeply was Claire involved? He packed his bag with essentials, a silenced pistol, encrypted drive, spare ammunition, and the only clue he had left, Claire's handwriting. He didn't know whether to trust her or fear her, but one thing was certain. He had to find her. The rain had stopped, leaving the streets glistening. Daniel moved like a shadow through the city, following fragments of intel that might lead him to Claire or into another trap. The first encounter days later, in a deserted warehouse on the outskirts of Berlin, Daniel caught a glimpse of a figure moving between crates. His heart leapt. "Claire!" "Daniel!" a voice whispered from the shadows. He spun, gun raised. It was her, but not as he remembered. She was cold, distant, almost unrecognizable. "You shouldn't have come," she said, eyes flashing with emotion he didn't understand. "Claire, tell me what's going on," he demanded. She hesitated, then finally spoke. "It's bigger than Harlow. Hayes using the agency to sell secrets to the highest bidder. And I had to play along to protect you." Daniel's mind reeled. Protect him? After everything? The web unravels. Claire led him deeper into the warehouse, revealing stacks of documents, hard drives, and weapons shipments. This is what Harlow has been hiding. All of it. Daniel scanned the room. Every corner screamed betrayal. He realized the magnitude of what they were up against. The agency wasn't a force for good, it was a shadow government, manipulating nations, lives, and everyone they claimed to protect. "Then why the photograph?" he asked, voice low. "To make you question everything," Claire admitted. "If you doubted me, you wouldn't follow blindly. And you needed to see the truth for yourself." Daniel swallowed. "And now we stop him," Claire said, loading her weapon. The ambush. They made their way to Harlow's private facility, a skyscraper fortress overlooking the river. But the moment they approached, alarms blared. Harlow had expected them. The doors locked, automated turrets deployed, and from the shadows emerged soldiers, agents they had once called allies. Daniel and Claire fought with precision, moving as one. Each shot, each maneuver was a dance of survival and trust rebuilt in the fire of combat. And then Harlow appeared, calm, collected, almost bored. "Ah, Daniel." "Claire," he said, "I was wondering how long it would take you to figure it out." "You're finished, Harlow," Daniel spat, adrenaline surging. Harlow smiled. "You still don't understand. It's never been about me. It's about the system. And now you're part of it." The betrayal revealed suddenly. Claire hesitated, lowering her weapon. Daniel's stomach twisted. "You promised," he said, eyes narrowing. I can't," she whispered. "I have to survive this too. Harlow has leveraged my family. I can't." Daniel's heart broke. The partner he trusted, the woman who had saved him countless times, she had made a choice. Harlow seized the moment. Guns blazing, he cornered Daniel, while Claire slipped into the shadows. "You see," Harlow said, "even loyalty bends when the cost is too high." The final confrontation. Daniel refused to fall. Using his training, he disarmed two of Harlow's men, dodged automated turrets, and reached the control room. There, he triggered the facility's emergency lockdown, trapping Harlow inside. "Daniel," Claire's voice echoed through the comms. "I can't fight him directly, but I can buy you time. You better come back," Daniel said, pain and hope twisting together. She didn't answer. With one last calculated move, Daniel rigged the facility's core to self-destruct. Harlow screamed, trying to escape, but the system sealed every exit. Daniel barely made it out as the building collapsed in a controlled explosion, flames licking the night sky. After weeks passed, Daniel sat alone on a rooftop, watching the city below. The agency was fractured, Harlow eliminated, but the cost was high. Claire's betrayal or survival haunted him. Then, a familiar encrypted message appeared on his device. No words, just a location. He knew it was her. Daniel smirked. Against all odds, against betrayal, the story wasn't over. If you stayed with us until the very end, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Trust me, this story of betrayal, secrets, and survival isn't over yet. Keep your eyes open, you never know who's really on your side.